Well then, we haven't been around. We've been sleeping hardcore. We haven't been posting. Yeah. I mean, sleeping on everything except for
changing things.
Changing everything.
Any of the cars that you've seen in our previous videos, they're all gone. We got all new stuff.
Definitely some new stuff. Some of it we've posted about on our social media, but for you guys on YouTube only, we haven't posted since quite a while ago.
And some of it we haven't really posted much about on Instagram either, so.
Yeah, so we're trying to change that. This is our fresh start video for us to, fresh start. It's our fresh start video to show you guys what we've been up to, get you guys caught up, and maybe piss some of you off. Because we changed everything, but that's okay. So for those of you that are excited for us, we appreciate it, and let's get out of race car number 1 and show them the rest of the stuff that's going on around here.
Yeah? Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Get out of the driver's seat.
Saddle up, partner.
Before we get started showing you these cars, look at that. Dang.
We don't live in the same house anymore.
Yeah, I'd say we're not in the same house anymore.
No, a little different, just slightly.
So we moved out to the high desert, Hesperia.
Everybody asks why you'd move to the desert. It was a great choice.
Yeah, I don't regret moving to the desert at all. Everyone that thinks that you shouldn't live in the desert, that's okay. You keep thinking that because I really like it here. So let's show them what's on the other side of this camera.
Behind door number 1.
Behind door number 1 and 2. So since we talked to you guys last, we changed a few things. So these are our new E92 Pro cars. Do you call them Pro cars if you're not driving still? Anyways, these are our new drift cars that we're building. Yeah, we don't have the old ones anymore.
I mean, kinda.
They're sitting out there
It's
on the other
sad.
side of that window, and it's depressing. Someone should come buy both of them.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. But yeah, these are the new ones. So what's up with these?
So microphone on?
Why don't you talk into the microphone? I got a backup mic right here. Whew. Check 1, 2. Testing, testing. Yeah, they both working, and guess what? They don't like no feedback. What's up?
The microphone is on.
We might be, trying to get back in the swing of doing all this.
Yeah, we already messed up. Like this is like take 2 or 3. So
Take 2 or 3.
two or three.
So I'm gonna stop moving, and I'm just gonna tell you what we're doing. So we got new drift cars. Rules started changing. Our desires for what we wanted out of our drift cars started changing. It was getting super expensive.
Yes.
Everybody that says don't overbuild your car, they're right. So what we decided to do was overbuild 2 different cars.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
Anyways, we got 2 identical E92 chassis. Both of them we got the same day, got the same tow truck driver, and pretty close to the same price, which we can't really complain. And by the time we sold interior and engine and stuff like that, both cars were essentially free. We had some good friends, Andrew and Liz, come out, and they came out and they stripped them down for us. They took all the parts and they've been selling them off for us. So we couldn't be more thankful for them. Thank you so much for doing that. That saved us a ton of time. We went with the E92 chassis because everybody started jumping into the 46 chassis. I already had the 36 chassis, and we were ready to learn something new. We have done a ton of 36s and 46s that we haven't filmed. And yeah, so we're like, you know what, let's jump to the next thing and let's try to get ahead of it all and see what we can learn about them before everybody starts making the switch. The E92 chassis is a killer looking car. These are non-M cars, but the M's look Perfect. So we went ahead and got them stripped right away, and instead of taking forever doing cages like we would normally do, we took them to Rome over at Imagine Garage, and Rome knocked these cages out in a matter of a couple weeks. Those are already done, and now we are working on body kit stuff right now. Actually, after this video, we're leaving and we're doing that. That's why we're doing this video real quick before this car leaves. We've been working with Big Duck Club, molding up the front over fenders, the hood. We did sunroof delete, like actually a whole carbon roof that we're doing. Bumper extensions, we're gonna work on some side skirts and a trunk and rear over fenders. And the rear over fenders are actually being molded on Danny's car. So yeah, we made the jump to these chassis because we truly did want them to be more simple. Believe it or not, what we're putting in here is a lot more simple than running the Viper motor in the other car and the S54 like Danny was running. That's gonna get us back to identical cars where having spare parts and stuff like that for both cars is a lot easier. And because of Holley making it so simple to do our engine swap,
Foreshadowing.
that just makes this 100 times easier than the route we were going down before. So these should be up and going fairly soon. Things have to sell. There's a lot of shit happening like you're about to see. But as soon as we can get these done, we're fighting for it. We miss driving. We miss banging doors with our friends.
So you already mentioned Holley. Let's tell them what's up with that.
All right, so this year we've got Holley. If you don't know who Holley is, you're sleeping. Holley's on board and supported us with both these cars because we picked unique swaps, and they're really excited for us to tell you all about their new products that they have that makes this so freaking simple. So you're wondering what's going in these? Both cars are getting Hellcat motors. Yes, you heard it right. 707 horsepower Hellcat motors, and hell no, we're not leaving a stock cam in it. Come on now.
Hey, that thing got a Hemi? Yeah. Sweet.
Holley makes literally everything to make this as simple as possible, down to a complete plug and play standalone system. Why would you even mess with a factory ECU that you have to worry about unlocking? You're stuck on specific tuners and stuff like that, when you could legit take this harness, slap it on your motor. It could be a crate motor, it could be a used motor. Plug in this ECU and you're ready to go. You plug in your dash and now you've got everything. You can see everything on this dash that your ECU can see. It doesn't get more simple than that. We don't have to sit here and make harnesses or any of that. We're just gonna run a couple wires for some lighting and that's about it. Holley also makes all the sensors and everything. We've converted to a LS style throttle body. So we have a TPS sensor, idle air, throttle cable bracket. This is a power steering adapter. It's a power steering adapter, so we can put a power steering pump on something that came with electric steering. Then we got some sensors for the display and stuff like that as well. But this couldn't have been more simple. We called up Holley, started talking to them over there, and they were like, yeah, we make the brackets to run your alternator, we make the brackets to run your power steering, we make aftermarket valve covers, we have a full plug and play system for that motor. And a huge thing for Danny and I was the fact that they had already made the SFI QuickTime bell housing that goes directly to the dog box, which we have sitting over here. And a huge bonus, they sell the Hurst products. I mean, is this not the old school Hurst shift knob? That's it right there. That's what I remember being around old muscle cars and stuff like that, is a freaking Hurst shifter. So it's kind of cool that some of this gets to carry on into our current stuff. Another company that we've been working with is Garagistic. We met Matt, the owner over at Garagistic, through Rome, and I'm sure most of you know that we're good friends with Rome. And we were out at a track day with him, got talking, and he got really interested in what we were doing. And he's like, yeah, let's build some parts. So we went over to Matt's and we started scanning cars and stuff like that. Now we've got seat brackets that go directly into the E92, E90, and E82 chassis. We sat and designed a little anti-sub harness bracket. I don't know if that's the right word to call that, but this is where your 6-point harness, you can come in and wrap your harnesses through here, lock them down, and so you're not having to drill any more holes in your floor. So that makes that simple. They also make other things like wheel studs, a lot of the little brass guide bushings, brass pedal bushings. These also work in the E92. Throttle cable bushings, this is actually for the daily. A lot of these parts here are for the daily. But we've been installing some of their parts lately in these cars and couldn't be more pleased with their shifter. We got all their seat brackets set up and stuff like that. It's all coming out super, super nice.
Anything you need, BMW related, Garagistic makes what? E36, E46, E90, E30,
and all the
82.
Mercedes stuff. And this is
yeah,
where
they
I'm
make some Mercedes.
This is not our world, but they make some cool Mercedes
190E.
parts.
I think it's 190E they make some parts for.
Yeah.
So sorry if we're wrong about that. We're not Mercedes people, but they make some really cool stuff. So big shout out to Garagistic for being a part of all this with us.
Yeah, and you'll see over here that Danny's actually got his seat brackets in. We were test fitting them. He's also got the sub bracket in there, which is going to be a little bit harder to see, but it's in there. And they work great. They made this so simple. There's a ton of adjustment to put the seat literally wherever you want to put it. And we're stoked on it. So these are test fit, but these are coming out because this is going to the body shop in 2 days. We got overs, hood, trunk, roofs, all kinds of stuff that we're working on with RJ over there, and this is going to be freaking awesome.
These cars already look cool from the factory, but RJ with Big Duck Club and us helping him out and stuff like that, these cars are just going to look amazing, man.
And after that, we'll be hitting up WiseFab and Feel to get WiseFab.
We'll be working with WiseFab and Feel to get our suspensions on these cars too. So
we're really excited for that because then both cars will be sitting. So a lot happened. All this happened really fast. At least for us, maybe not to some other people, but I mean, we got these cars like a month and a half, 2 months ago, so it hasn't been that long, and they're already caged and they're already further along than we were before. So
yeah, I mean, it literally was like an overnight decision almost. Like it felt overnight because we worked so long on the other cars, and we'd gotten really far. And Chad, you had like everything for your other car, damn near.
This is the second time I've had everything for my car. I completely changed my mind. So.
The rules changed this time. So his car and my car were going to be hard to keep legal for Formula Drift for us to compete in what used to be Pro 2 is now Pro Spec. So that was a big influence on changing our minds. But it happened quick is all I was getting at. This
100%, sorry.
This, we just jumped right into this. Like we were like, well, what do we do? Like we got to do something. We can't just not keep driving. We can't keep moving towards our goals. So that's where these cars came into play. And the moment we made this decision, it was like a huge relief. I know a lot of you are probably thinking like, well, you never finished your other cars, like that must suck and all that, and it does. Like it 100% sucks.
It's really sad seeing him back there.
Yeah, this guy's dreamed about a Viper motor in his car for what, like 5-6 years now? It's been going on. Like he's had one sitting for a while.
Let's walk over and give him a quick peek.
Yeah, let's check him out.
Danny's motor for his FC, ready to go. We have a manifold and everything for it. We've got a harness for it. This thing's resealed top to bottom. ARPs, cut ring, because at some point, Danny's in denial about it still, but it'll get boost. It's got some nice ceramic coated headers on it. Like this thing's ready to go in. That's his 6-speed. We've got the Clutchmaster's clutch. And as soon as we can put a day aside, these two are getting fit in that car. We'll build some mounts, which we've already built before. So it should be a fairly quick process here.
Yep, should go pretty quick.
And I can't wait to see this car move. It's going to be cool.
You're telling me.
I've been seeing this car, not as long as him, but I've been seeing this car sitting in the grass, the corner of his parents' property for a long time. This thing is ready to go in. You're going to see that soon. We're stoked. This is one of the 3 Viper motors I bought for my E36. Greg at Millennium went through and rebuilt it. Scott over at Prefix sat and helped source every single part for this motor, and I couldn't be more thankful for these two people to get this done. So this is a like 740 horse naturally aspirated Generation 5 Viper V10. This is the last of the Viper.
Excuse me? A baking powder?
It's got a cam, it's got 12-to-1 pistons, it's got forged rods, completely gone through, VVT delete, all that. It came out absolutely beautiful just for me to sell it. Sorry guys, but sure does look cool. Anybody need a motor? Because I've got that in a dog box. You know, you got an old hot rod? I got you. But we also picked up one more really rare motor in Texas. And maybe we'll film a little bit of that one.
You'll see that one when it's here. How about that?
Yeah.
So some of the other projects we got going on around here, this one's not really a project. This is just something we got.
Right.
So, yeah, right. It's not a project yet. This is just something we got kind of right after we moved. I sold my truck, needed something to drive around, went and bought this for $2,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, $2,500, and it's super fun. We thrashed this thing through the desert. So, I mean, it's nothing too special. It's actually kind of like a smorgasbord of parts and weird things. It's got Beltec lowering springs with a Fabtech lift knuckle, so it's lifted and lowered in the front, and it has drop locks in the rear and wide body fenders, and it's
Which we broke right away was the drop locks.
Yeah, the drop locks were aluminum. Whoever put them on there put aluminum ones on it, and like, oh yeah, I'll go off-roading with that, okay. And not that you should be off-roading with drop locks anyways.
Very valid point.
Hey, you got to keep the stance going in it. So yeah, it's super fun.
This thing's rad.
I mean, we just thrash it everywhere we go, and it's bulletproof. It's a Toyota, so can't really complain.
And for some of you people who've been digging back on our videos or watching for a really long time, you might see a little Tacoma drifting action back in the day. This is actually how this all started. And it's funny that he's got a Tacoma that's got the same front end.
Same
it looks like the same truck.
Yeah, so there's going to be some videos of this coming up probably here soon. Not 100% on that. There's not going to be a ton of content with it, but there might be some. Cut to some footage of us cutting across that lake bed. This is my grandpa's 86 FC RX-7. My grandpa bought this car in 86, bought it brand new. He ordered it. I have the order receipt for it. Him and my grandma traveled in it. They would go, you know, cross country. They took it to Canada, did all kinds of stuff with it, and just kind of, that's what they did. That was my grandpa's kind of splurge, I guess, if you will, back in the day. He was a very particular guy, so everything he kept was super clean, and this was his baby for a long time. If you look on the side of it right here, there's actually this pinstripe that he had a friend of his put in back in the day. And this right here is kind of like one of those retro little zigzags, but that's actually a heartbeat. And the reason that's a heartbeat is my grandpa had open heart surgery, and after his open heart surgery, he put that pinstripe on there. So kind of a little cool story about that. After my grandpa had it, my brother took it to prom and stuff. He drove it in high school, and eventually the rotary motor, not talking shit on rotaries, they're cool motors, or they sound amazing, but it popped. So it sat for 15 years, 16 years.
We've got a picture where we dug it out from.
15, 16 years. One day I talked to my brother and kind of talked to my family. I was like, can we fix it? Can we restore it? And they were like, yeah, that would be awesome. And so here it is now, and we've already gone through and done some stuff to it. So the guy behind the camera right now organized a whole thing for this car that I didn't even know about. And he got a bunch of our friends together. Some of you are probably watching this. Thank you so much for doing that. He got a bunch of you guys together and basically bought like a bunch of parts for it. So that I could actually make this happen. You guys will see some content on that. We'll be putting it's an M52 that we'll be putting in it. ZF 6-speed trans, and yeah, it's just gonna be basically a street car, cruiser, travel car. We want to drive it across country. We have friends in Virginia. Bring it back to what it originally was for.
It's literally waiting for us to put a day aside to set the motor and trans in it and build some mounts. So if you go back to like some of our first videos, we lived in Pomona when I was going to school. And back then we had some people hit us up that needed the ball joints pushed in their trailing arms and bushings pushed out of the subframe. I'm gonna be corrected here. But we ended up getting cams and a bunch of other stuff from them and stayed in contact. And those two people are Aaron and John. Aaron and John turned into some really good friends of ours. And over the years, we did some stuff on John's car and we did some stuff on Aaron's car. And John hits me up one day and goes, "Hey man, do you want my car?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, do you want my car?" So here's John's car. I still call it John's car. It doesn't have a name because
It's John's car.
it's John's car. I'm really bad at the whole daily thing. Fun, bad decisions. We're gonna have a whole series on that. But yeah, so this is the daily. Since getting it, done the wide body, wheels and tires, put some fuel suspension on it, did Achilles camber arms, 6-speed, seat, shifter, hydro, rear strut brace, because it's a true rear coilover now. So we've done a handful of stuff to it, but thankfully this thing was dialed when we got it. When we got this car, it already had a 364 diff in it that was all built. It's got the Schrick cams on the top and Supertech valve train, titanium retainers, and all kinds of good stuff in the top end of this motor. This thing rips for a naturally aspirated car. 3.5-inch MAF, bigger injectors, headers. We put a full exhaust on it, full stainless exhaust from the headers all the way back. So this thing's kind of been under the knife a lot. I couldn't be more thankful for this car. It's two kind of crazy stories. Both these cars mean so much to us. And that's gonna actually bring you to our next vehicle. This is John's car. Let's show you actually John's Datsun 620. This was a 1973 Datsun 620, and it had the stock motor. It had a 5-speed trans. Someone had already upgraded to disc brakes on it. Other than that, this truck was bone stock. We got the body dropped off of paint. Excel Motorsports is doing that. All the powder coat work was done by Western Fab. They own Daytech powder coating, and they powder coated like literally everything. We powder coated the frame, and then we're like, no, look, we can't put anything on this that's not powder coated on this beautiful frame. So, you know, as you know, I would talk about my daily getting out of hand. Well, this is another thing that's not mine that I get to let someone else get out of hand, but I just get to influence. Not just me.
I think we definitely get to influence some people on some stuff.
So John,
thank you.
Sorry, not sorry, because look how beautiful this is coming out, man.
I think everybody likes mini trucks.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I don't know that I've met a single person that's like, I just hate mini trucks. They're so dumb.
And you like them like slammed, or you like them going off road, or you like them drifting.
Yeah.
Or you like them just at car shows. I mean, mini trucks are just freaking cool until you need to put anything in it.
Yeah, until you have to like put more than 2 people like right here. Yeah, this thing is turning out super, super, super nice. John doesn't even realize it yet. I mean, he's seen pictures. He's probably watching this video right now. But this thing literally can go to car shows and probably win some stuff maybe.
We could like, you know, shove some mirrors under it to show off the bottom side. This, like, every square inch of the body is getting painted. Every part has been replaced or restored. Like, every square inch of this thing is looking awesome. A friend of mine that I went to school with, Alex Rodriguez, we picked up this motor from him. This motor was actually going in a truck he was building for his dad. So this has kind of got a cool story to it. This truck's kind of got a cool story. John is crazy, and he bought a AEM Infinity 710 and a AEM CD7 dash that's like track mapping, data logging, GPS. This is all from my race car. Well, my race car parts pile. But it's all from that, which in that ECU came out of Dean Kearney's Viper, who runs Formula Drift. Totally overkill. But it's cool because it has a story, and it kind of adds to the whole thing. Look how much room's in here. This made all the difference in the world. Before, we had our 2-car garage that wasn't as deep as this one, and it had a dividing wall to a single-car garage. And our project cars were always shoved to the side because we were always working on other stuff. And anytime we wanted to work on our own, we had to bring that car out, move everything around just to work on one. But now we could sit here and work on this, and then if we want to work on something for the afternoon, we could turn and work on these 2 cars, and we don't have to move anything. So this made a huge difference for us. It's allowed us to get more organized. We actually ended up getting more tools. We got a new box, all kinds of stuff. But this was a huge change for us, and we couldn't be more stoked to have this spot to work in. And now it is creating dreams not only for us, but for other people like John. And the next one, Danny's dad. This is his Jeep. I'm gonna let this switch over here because Danny used to drive this in high school, so he should talk about it.
Yeah, I guess I did drive this Jeep in high school, but it didn't look like that.
I mean, it was always pretty cool.
It was a cool Jeep. It had a Rubicon 5.5-inch lift, 33s, open diffs, and it was super fun. That Jeep, it used to smoke a lot because it had a massive oil leak that never got fixed really until right
before pulling it out.
Before we pulled the motor out. So yeah, so this is my dad's Jeep now. I drove it in high school. Before that, my mom drove it to work and stuff. She's a school teacher, so she drove it back and forth to school. And now it's his. So he is doing all kinds of cool stuff to this thing.
Hey, you wanna know a pattern here? So Danny's dad wants us to be his daily.
Yeah.
This is his tow rig to take his boat to the lake. This is his rig to go hunting. Danatrack 1-ton axles, 4-link rear, 3-link front. Danny and I fully plated the whole frame, and we're not going to tell you quite what's going in here yet.
So you guys will see some upcoming videos on this. And
I promise you won't be disappointed.
You're going to see upcoming videos on this. For sure on these two. These two you're going to see more and more footage of. Possibly the truck. Heavy on these. These are the whole reason we do all this. Alright, so that's our update video. Get you guys kind of caught up on what we're up to. We're also working on our brand. So keep your eyes open for our website to drop soon. Your guys' support through YouTube and through our brand and stuff like that will always be appreciated. So keep your eyes open for that. That's coming up really quick.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add too that I know like everything's changed. We're not upset about it. We are stoked. Getting into the E92 chassis was 100% a blessing in disguise. It's opened up so many doors for us already, and we're not even driving them yet. So be stoked for what's coming because it's all huge. And like Danny had mentioned, the stuff we're working on with our brand, you guys are going to be stoked on. We're going to be hosting again. We're going to be finally offering the shirts and stuff like that that people have asked about for years. And get back to our roots and kind of shift our focus a little bit on what we really want. And because of everything that's happened, we can now do it. So,
yeah. And and the companies we're working with now are a huge part of that. So we're super excited to be working with Holley, working with Garagistic, Big Duck Club, and hopefully some more to come after that even.
Yeah, I think there's a Clutch Masters thing in the future as well.
Yeah, we've been working with Clutch Masters on trying to figure that out. So yeah, be stoked for us because we're stoked. Stay tuned. And we know this video is kind of slow.
Yes, that's a lot of talking, but we had to update because if we just started putting out videos, nobody would have known what the hell was going on anymore.
Yeah, so
for the 10 people that are going to watch this, we appreciate it. And I know there's more of you there. I'm just teasing. But
Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Deuces.